All right. Well, finding the main idea is important in all English classes. In English 9, there's a specific assignment about finding the main idea, but you will have to find the main idea of many texts throughout all of the English courses. And anytime you summarize a article, which is done in every English course, the topic sentence includes finding the main idea. So you have to state the main idea of an article. So any practice in finding the main idea is definitely worthwhile, even if you are not in English 9 right now. All right, so we'll get started so that we can have some questions at the end of class. All right, so here's the schedule if you're on Pacific time. X this out. What is this? Okay. We are not going to do the Kahoot, but we are going to do a review, main idea review, or what it's also called kind of like I do, we do, you do. So I'm going to do lots of examples, and then maybe you'll do a couple. And then at the end, we're going to do a activity 421 together. If you are in English 9, that will help you. And then at the end, 421, and then we'll have some question and answer time. I think I'm recording. I wrote to make sure that I am recording. I'm going to double check. Okay, I'm recording. All right, so essential questions for this lesson. Why do I need to find the main idea? How do I find the main idea? And when will I use finding the main idea? So the first one, why do I need to find the main idea? Like I said a little bit ago, finding the main idea is really one way teachers or even standardized tests check to see your comprehension. So one way finding the main idea will help you is that it will help you build that skill to comprehend text better. Also, in the immediate future, you will be finding the main idea in a lot of different texts throughout all of the English courses at Graduation Alliance. Every time you summarize, you'll be finding the main idea. Also, it's a way to kind of synthesize things, even in like real life. We're thrown a lot of different articles on a lot of different topics and a lot of different opinions. And if you can't find the main idea of something you read to synthesize it with something else or figure out what supports your opinion, it's going to be hard for you to organize your thoughts when you're writing. And then, of course, this whole lesson is going to be about how do I find the main idea? And then I'll answer this question. When will I use finding the main idea? Like I said, in all of the English courses, you will be doing that. But I use finding the main idea on a day-to-day basis when I'm reading the newspaper, when I'm reading articles about things that interest me, when I'm just trying to find people's main points when they're talking to me. I find the main idea. So it's a skill, it's a comprehension skill, not only literacy, but like everyday life type skill. I wanted to note that the examples, we use a lot of different short paragraphs, and the examples were taken from here. I use this a lot when I give examples for students. It's a great resource. And if you need any extra practice in finding the main idea, there's a bunch of worksheets on there, and the answers are on there too. So you can practice finding the main idea. This is my blurb about why finding the main idea is important, so I'll read that aloud to you, even though I already kind of stated it. You will use finding the main idea skill. Pause 1 second, I see a chat message. English 10, Semester 1, Lexington, you have a question. I'm going to go through this lesson, and then I'll save the questions for the end, okay? Unless it's related to this specific, anything specific at the moment. If it is, just type in the chat box. Thanks. You will use finding the main idea skill to synthesize information, and also anytime you summarize a text. When you summarize a text, you need to provide the main idea in the topic sentence. In every class at Graduation Alliance, you are asked to objectively summarize text, so don't worry. Finding the main idea is a necessary skill to master. Yeah, it won't go away. You're going to be doing that. Okay, it's related to English 10. Yeah, you just have to wait till the end. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep rolling on this. Okay, there are 4 steps to finding the main idea. 1 is read the article. 2 is answer the question, what is the article about? 3 is pay attention to the topic and concluding sentences. And 4 is writing the main idea statement in a complete sentence. All right, we're going to go through this. It is impossible to find the main idea if you have not read the article. Students try to do this, and then they just don't quite get it. You need to take time to comprehend the article. For these ones, it's pretty easy because they're just a paragraph. Once you read the article, then you try to answer this question, which is pretty much, what's the main idea? I kind of want some participation in this one. Why do you think it's important to pay attention to the topic and concluding sentences? This is kind of a little trick. So if you want to type in the chat box what you think, and I will read it. Why is it important, do you think, to pay attention to the topic and concluding sentences? Why would those specific sentences clue you into a main idea? Lexington and Lexon, I guess Terry left. What do you think? Why do you think we would pay attention to the topic and the concluding sentence? Oh, Lexington, now I just realized your question. Is this related to English 10? Finding the main idea? Yes, you'll have to find the main idea in English 10. Still waiting. Just throw it a guess. Pay attention to the topic and concluding sentence. Why do you think this would be a trick to finding the main idea? I'll give you a hint. Yeah, that's a super good guess. Thank you for participating, Lexington. Yeah, it gives you a theme in the story. That's a super good answer for a fictional story. We're going to be working with nonfiction, so stories, unless it's like an autobiography or a biography, usually aren't, we're not going to be working with that with nonfiction. But that's a super good guess, so thank you. And you're right, a theme, you know, like the lesson is usually kind of hinted at the end of the story. So you're right on. So you want to pay attention to the topic and concluding sentence, because when you write a summary, for example, the topic sentence includes the main idea. This article is about blank, like then the main idea comes. And in most paragraphs, the topic sentence includes some type of main idea. And then the concluding sentence restates it. And so sometimes it's not super clear, but the first sentence and the last sentence sometimes give you a clue. So it's a good idea because they state the main ideas. A good topic sentence is going to take the main idea of the paragraph. And then 4 is write the main idea statement in a complete sentence. All right, so we're going to go through a couple examples. First step, read the whole text. All right, here we go. I'm going to read this out loud, and hopefully I can get some participation because I'm real good at waiting. All right. Being a clown isn't all fun and games. Rodeo clowns expose themselves to great danger every time they perform. When cowboys dismount or bulls buck them off, rodeo clowns jump in front of the bulls and motion wildly to get their attention. In this way, rodeo clowns provide an alternate target, and doing so protect the rider. Of course, this is a very dangerous thing to do. So you see, sometimes clowning around can be serious business. All right, so we did step 1, read the whole text. What is the article about? In this first one, I'm just gonna kind of model it. So what's the article about? Well, I know it's definitely about rodeo clowns. Maybe rodeo clowns and what they do. I'm gonna say rodeo clown, and this doesn't have to be in a complete sentence. Rodeo clowns and what they do. Okay, topic sentence and concluding sentence. I'm gonna highlight those. Being a clown isn't all fun and games, and So you see, sometimes clowning around can be serious business. All right, that kind of, I can't write like clowning around is serious business. That's not the main idea. And plus I'd have to write it in my own words. And it hints at it here, isn't all fun and games, but I'm gonna have to be specific. So the main idea would be rodeo clowns are funny to watch, but they have a dangerous job. And I got that because they talk about the, they talk that they protect the rider. They jump in front of bulls. That sounds very dangerous. They even said dangerous thing to do. And so that's what kind of gave me the main idea. The dangers of being a rodeo clown. Good job. So the only thing, Lexington, is that you want to put that in a complete sentence. So rodeo clowns have a dangerous job. That would also work too. Yep. Good job. All right. And if you keep nailing this main idea, we can just go, we can skip a few examples. I have quite a few examples here, but we can skip a few. And then we can get to, if you have any questions about English 10. All right, let's try another one. Wolverines are medium-sized mammals. They weigh no more than 50 pounds, yet they have earned their reputation for ferocity by killing prey many times their size. But why do they get in so many fights? The reason why wolverines have so many conflicts with other animals, including wolves, cougars, and even bears, is probably because of the wolverine's preferred hunting style. Rather than chasing down or tricking its prey like most hunters, the wolverine prefers to take its meal directly from other hunters. So while a polar bear or a lone wolf might be enjoying a hard-earned carcass, a hungry wolverine may try to take his lunch. As you might imagine, this style of hunting gets the wolverine in plenty of fights. Okay, so we read the whole text. Yes, we did. What is the article about? Let's say Wolverines and how they hunt, right? Let's highlight the topic and concluding sentence. Okay, Wolverines are medium-sized mammals. That actually really doesn't tell us the main idea. It doesn't really talk about, it does talk about their size, but it's more about how they hunt, right? So that kind of gives us a hint, but that's not the total main idea. And the last one, as you might imagine, this style of hunting gets the wolverine in plenty of fights. Okay, this style of hunting, that's a real key word, key phrase there. And that gives us a big hint, because hunting style is mentioned here. It mentioned that they get in fights. Then it describes how they get their meals. They get their meals directly from other hunters. And it says that a hungry wolverine may take his lunch, may take another animal's lunch. All right, so I'm gonna write the main idea, and then this next one, Lexington, maybe you can do. All right, or Lexon, that would be great. Write the main idea statement. So I'm gonna say, because it's about wolverines. Wolverines hunt by stealing food from other predators. I use predators. Predators just means like something that kills something else, something that's going to eat something else. So wolverines hunt by stealing food from other predators. Okay, so that is the main idea for that. Let's put that in blue. All right, let's do another example, and Lexon and Lexington, we'll have you participate here, okay? All right, so I'm going to read this aloud. We'll go through the steps, and then we can work through this. Okay, sometime in December of 1891, Dr. James Naismith was teaching gym at the YMCA College in Springfield, Massachusetts. It was raining, and Dr. Naismith was trying to keep his students active. He wanted them playing a vigorous game that would keep them moving. He rejected a few ideas that were too rough. Then Naismith had his breakthrough. He wrote out the rules for a game with peach baskets fixed to 10-foot elevated tracks. Naismith students played against one another, passing the ball around and shooting it into the peach baskets. Dribbling wasn't part of the original game. Also, it took a while to realize that the game would run more smoothly if the bottoms of the baskets were removed. But this game grew to be one of the most popular sports in America today. Can you guess which one? All right, this one is cool because it really hints at the main idea and it never actually says the topic. So this is a tricky one. So we read the whole text. What's the article about? What sport do you think this, yeah, Lexington, got it, good job. Yeah, basketball. What were some hints that told you it was about basketball, Lexan or Lexington? Would love to hear from you, Lexan. Or is it the same person? I hope it's not the same person that just signed in twice. Lexan, what do you think? What were some hints that gave from the text that showed you that it was basketball? Woohoo! Thanks, Lexington. The peach basket. Yep, shooting into them. Yep, this was a big one for me. Dribbling wasn't a part of the original game. I mean, when I think of dribbling, I think of soccer, which isn't basketball, but I also think of basketball. And plus, it was played in a gym with baskets. I mean, yeah. Okay, so good. So the article is about, let's say, basketball. We'll say the story of basketball. Okay, topic and concluding sentence. So this, you can't just write, the main idea is guess which one. That's would be incorrect, obviously. So, but it hints at the main idea, right? It hints that it's about basketball. And then this sentence, sometime in December of 1891, Dr. James Naismith was teaching gym at the YMCA College in Springfield, Massachusetts. That doesn't really give us that much of a hint of a main idea either. But if I could get some, but we do know it's about basketball, and we said the story of basketball, but I think it needs to be a little bit more specific. So Lexan and Lexington, maybe you want to chime in on the chat and write what you think is the main idea. And remember to write it in a complete sentence. You have time, don't worry. You can reread the text. Okay. Let's see. The peach basket and shooting it into them, but this grew to be one of the most popular sports in American history. Basketball. And you're talking about basketball. I think that's good. I think basketball should be written in there. And the only other thing is that the most popular sports in American history, most popular sports is written in the text. So you want to make sure that you write everything in your own words. So technically, mention that it's basketball and then change that into your own words. And you are on the right track. So try it again. Perfect. I like that. So Lexington said this quickly became one of Americans, let's say America's well-known sports, which is now called basketball. Yeah, and I like that. I'm going to edit one thing. Let's see. Let's say, instead of saying this, because readers won't know what this is, we'll say a quickly became one of okay. All right, so I said, based on Lexington's answer, I made up a made-up game by a PE teacher quickly became one of America's well-known sports, which is now called basketball. Great job, Lexington. That's awesome. All right, all right. This is activity 421. Lexon and Lexington, are you in English 9? Or Lexington, you're not. Lexon, are you? I'm going to take the non-answer as no. We're going to do, we're going to do one of these answers. And then, so anybody viewing this video later, I'm not going to give you all the answers. So we'll do one answer from activity 421. And then if any of you were in English 9, I just go through all of them. But and then I can answer any of your questions that you might have on English 10, Lexington. All right. So this is activity 421 from English 9. This is just extra practice for finding the main idea, Lexington and Lexon. So this is the paragraph, and then there are a series of questions that I might have already shown. Oops. Yeah. Oopsie. So you, we can figure out what the main idea is, and then we'll use the multiple choice to figure out which one is the closest to what we decide, because I kind of already showed it. All right, so I'm going to read this paragraph. The topic is about the Montgomery bus boycott, so we're kind of switching topics all over the place, but the reason why we do short paragraphs is that so you can get a high repetition of the skill instead of reading like an entire novel and then saying, okay, what's the main idea, or an entire article. So it's for your best interest to do these short little ones to get good at the skill. Then of course you read more longer complex texts. All right, now, not so long ago in Montgomery, Alabama, the color of your skin determined where you could sit on a public bus. If you happened to be an African American, you had to sit in the back of the bus, even if there were empty seats up front. Back then, racial segregation was the rule throughout the American South. Strict laws called Jim Crow laws enforced a system of white supremacy that discriminated against blacks and kept them in their place as second-class citizens. All right, so I read the whole article. I need to think about the topic and concluding sentence. So, not so long ago in Montgomery, Alabama, the color of your skin determined where you could sit in public bus. Okay. And then the last sentence is, strict laws called Jim Crow laws enforced a system of white supremacy that discriminated against blacks and kept them in their place as second-class citizens. All right, then answer the question, what is this article about? Well, this article is about segregation, it sounds like to me. It sounds like the topic is about segregation. And then what is the actual main idea? What do you think, Lexington? Do you think you could put something together? I see Montgomery, Alabama listed. Racial injustice would be good. So just put it into a complete sentence. So we'd say something like, in the South, segregation was upheld by laws. Yeah. Okay, so then we want to check which one of these sounds the best, like which one fits the best of the main idea that we decided. And then I already showed you kind of what the answer was. But Montgomery, Alabama hosted laws that discriminated against African Americans. Since it's highlighted, that's the right answer. We'll talk about why these aren't it. You had to sit in the back of the bus. No, this whole paragraph was not just about sitting in the back of the bus. That was one of the supporting details, but it wasn't the whole main idea. Jim Crow laws discriminated against African Americans. This was also a supporting detail. This was a close second, but because it specifically talked about Jim Crow laws, and that was only mentioned here as a kind of supporting detail, that's not the main idea. Main idea is a little bit more general than that. And the bus boycott was the action to take at this time. In fact, nothing is listed here about the bus boycott yet. So that is an incorrect answer as well. So this would be the correct answer. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, cool. So hopefully you have a pretty good idea of the main idea and how to find that in paragraphs. And Lexington, since you have been the one participating so much, do you have any questions for English 10? We still have some time left, so any questions in English 10 that are coming up, any assignment? And while you're thinking, I'm going to do a closure of the lesson just for the sake of the video. Let's see. So why do I need to find the main idea? I see your chat message. Oh, your battery's about to die. Okay, when the next section for English 10 is, I'm sorry. There's usually an English lesson each week. You'll have to check your email or your chat messages. Your English teachers will send those out. I know there's another English teacher. I am not running a lesson next week, but I know other English teachers are. And you can also email your academic coach. Yeah, if your battery dies, that's okay. I'm gonna close out this lesson here. If there are no other questions, Lexin, do you have any questions? Okay, I'm gonna take the silence as a no. All right, closure. Why do I need to find the main idea? All right, finding the main idea is important for a variety of reasons. One immediate reason, is that you will need to find the main idea in any class, any English class you take in Graduation Alliance, and a lot of your social studies classes will probably ask you to find the main idea too. It's a way to assess your comprehension, and it's a great skill to have. You will also need to find the main idea for any type of summaries that you do. How do I find the main idea? Well, you find the main idea by using these 4 steps. Read the article, answer the question, what is this article about? Pay attention to the topic and concluding sentences. Write the main idea statement in a complete sentence. When will I use finding the main idea? So yeah, I kind of explained that in all of your English classes, probably some other social studies classes as well. And later in life, I find the main idea all the time when I'm reading articles on topics that I enjoy, or newspaper articles or things I want to be informed at, so that I can synthesize information. And then these are the resources that I used for this lesson. This is a great resource for comprehension, like extra practice with comprehension. And there's a lot of worksheets that are grade level specific. So if you know your reading level, you can pick some and practice and give the answers. So, and then here's my email. If you have any further questions, let me know. I'm here to help you.